you will start to shift when you come to this internal understanding that everything in your life is happening for a reason. If you come through this frame and you begin to filter everything that's going on, and it could be way beyond your understanding, it could be negative circumstances, it could be confusing circumstances, it could be things that you feel like you're waiting for, that you've been waiting for so long and they haven't happened yet. And you put all of that into a box with a label that says, this has happened for my greatest good. This is happening to elevate me to my highest potential. This is happening for me to actually reach my higher timeline. That's when you transmute all of it. It's by reframing it. It's transmuting it. It is taking all of it. And there's a meditation that I've actually gone through where they literally instruct you to visualize this process. All those intrusive thoughts, all those negative beliefs, all those disempowering dialogues going on in your mind. All of those things that you are worried about, all those concerns and the fears and the doubts and anxieties, they're all constructing you. They're all honing your character. They're all there to serve you to become your highest potential. When you begin to think in this manner, you really start transmuting everything around you. The energy starts to change. There's so many people that have gone through life that end up being very successful, very powerful individuals that went through very tough childhoods, that had all kinds of adversity going on through their lives. And they were able to keep pushing through it. And hindsight 2020, they came to realize that actually all of that stuff that happened, they wouldn't have become the powerful person that they ended up becoming without all of it. So, it's like, there's just so many examples of this. Robert Greene talks about this, that for a long time, he was just aimless. He was working this odd series of jobs and none of them were connected. And he had all kinds of issues working with people in Hollywood, working on odd construction jobs and all kinds of weird experiences that were just like, what is the point of all this? What am I doing with my life? And now Robert Greene is one of the most celebrated authors on the planet. And he says in his interviews that if he wouldn't have done all these different things, he wouldn't have actually been able to write these books. He wouldn't have been able to write the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, the 33 Strategies of War, the Laws of Human Nature, all of these best-selling books that he's written that people are some of the most read books of all time, really. Especially in self-help, these are some of the most, especially the 48 Laws of Power. He never would have came up with that. The world wouldn't have that gift that he gave to the world if it wasn't him going through all this shit along the way. So when you're able to reframe situations, you're really operating on an energetic level where you are transitioning, as Vadim Zeland would say in Transurfing, to those higher timelines, those higher lifelines, where you're going to be able to see the things that you've wanted, those desires that you hold. And so many people have talked about this. Napoleon Hill talks about this. Within every difficulty, within every challenge, within every failure is the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. And when you start to operate like this, and you start to just appreciate whatever's going on in the 3D, appreciate it, give it praise. Could be all kinds of stuff, all kinds of terrible things. Stop offering so much resistance to it. Start being okay with it. Even embrace the fact that you might fail. And all of that resistance, all of that weight that you've been carrying around is going to begin to dissolve. And you're going to be able to have these better conversations going on inside of your mind, these better dialogues going on inside of your internal narrative. And you're going to begin to tell yourself a story about how every hero's journey begins the same way. You ever noticed that too? Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a nerd at the beginning. He can't do anything right. Everybody makes fun of him. Bruce Wayne's parents died. It's this common thread that you see throughout. And anytime you even watch any show on Netflix, it's like this hero's journey. It's like first there's a conflict, and then the journey of the hero, the resolution. But it doesn't happen without all that stuff in the interim, right? So when you begin to say like, yeah, you know what, this is actually all leading me to my greatest benefit. This is actually just more and more reasons to fuel me along my path, more and more reasons that I am worthy for this and worthy of success. And there's many different ways of doing this. And I have different techniques, specific techniques of doing this in my book, which is linked down below. There's psychological frameworks psychological techniques that you can use on yourself, ways of interpreting things, reframing things, presupposing things that can help you along this like process, because they go in with what's going on in your internal narrative, and they're literally ways to like hack the dialogue and change the subconscious narrative. But when you begin to do this, you will see things around you start to change. You're energetically, you're putting out a different energy now. And you're going to be, instead of being bogged down by all these things and bogged down by these goals and these unmet things and all these conditions you've been placing on yourself, your energetic body, which is like this toroidal field, this bubble of energy that you exist in, you're going to begin to overflow. You're going to begin to overflow with energy, and it's going to spill out to everyone around you. You're going to become more attractive, more magnetic, because you are embodying and you're telling yourself the right story. You're embodying this person, this version of yourself, which believes in themselves. This version of yourself, which is in alignment with the truth that really you are this unlimited being here in this physical vessel while you're here, but you are meant to fully express yourself, and you're unique. You're one of God's children, and the desires that you hold in your heart, you are meant to realize. I know this sounds a little bit out there. It sounds maybe a little bit extra woo-woo today, but believe me, trust me, you are here, and your life is what you make of it. And it all goes back to what you're deciding on a moment-to-moment basis. Are you making a choice that these things mean that you cannot get what you want? Are you making a choice to believe in this lack, to believe in this uncertainty, to believe in this doubt? Because you have to have faith either way. Either way, you have to believe that this is all ending in this tragedy narrative. Or you can turn your life into this comical adventure. You can believe that all of these circumstances, everything that's been going on, is leading to this, which, because you haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen, the credits haven't rolled on the screen of this like very unfortunate, sad story that you've been telling yourself. But you're believing in it through the repetition of your thought, through you habitually engaging in the same negative thought patterns. You're believing in the unseen. So it's a choice. Do you want to believe in that negative unseen picture, or do you want to believe in that positive one? Anyways, guys, my book down below, available for purchase, The Robotic Affirmation Code. It's not just about robotic affirming. It's about reorienting your entire narrative of your life story. It's about reclaiming control over the uncontrollable thoughts that are going on in your mind, these stories that we habitually tell ourselves. It's like we can't turn these thoughts off. They just go all along. And which wolf are you feeding? There's this Native American story, the wolf of fear or the wolf of courage. What entity are you feeding? It all goes back to your energy. But your energy, one of the ways that you manipulate your energy, that you control this energy, is imagery and language. Those are basically the most common tools that we have at our disposal. But once you begin to command the language, the imagery will also change. You can also go directly to the imagery. Start imagining those positive situations. Start having those inner conversations with yourself. What if this was easy? What if this just turned out better than I thought? What if this just turned out better than I could have imagined? What if this was just a breeze? What if I just had the easiest time possible going through this process? What if this was actually a lot easier than I actually thought? What if this was actually a lot more fun than I thought? What if I was really, all of this stuff that I've been going through is actually leading me exactly on the path that is leading me towards my greatest success, a success greater than I could have ever imagined. And once you start telling that story, once you start rewriting that story, you're really going to see things shift. But either way, like I said, you're believing in some unseen future. So it's a matter of choice, and it's a matter of redirecting that consciously, that thought, intention, that awareness. Discipline your awareness on what it is that you want. Remove it from what you don't want. One of the ways that you can do that as well is just be okay. Be okay that maybe not too. That's the paradox of this whole thing. But that very desperate craving, attached energy is something that we hold on to by not being able to look at our fears in the face or just accept them. Because what we accept dissolves. What we resist persists. What we're willing to look at and stare at directly will dissolve. So once you embrace that, and there's other exercises for detachment that are in my book as well, but once you embrace that possibility of failure, okay, well, yeah, but I still have this life. I still am gonna go for what I want. I'm not gonna just give up because there's a possibility that this might not work out. I'm gonna go for it. but you're going to take that dispassionate action. You're going to move towards your goal without placing all these conditions on yourself, without making it so serious, without battling with yourself, without battling with the world. You're going to just observe it into being. You're going to compose that reality through directing your thought narratives and the images, the scenes, the visualization, whatever you want to call it, that you entertain. Are you entertaining these negative thoughts, or are you dismissing them and inviting in the thoughts that you want? And it's all up to you on a moment-to-moment basis. Anyways, guys, much love as always. Drop this video with a like if you found this helpful. My book is available down below in the description for download. And like I said, it's chock full of all these techniques that are going to help you take back control over the narrative. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video, and much love as always.